Welcome back to part 2 of the church and the Ponzi scheme. Thank you for joining. Here's the professor.
Because there were a number of churches who were involved either as promoting the Ponzi scheme or as being distributors, ambassadors. For example, one church is Crown One Ministry, a church out of Oklahoma City, who actually was listed as a promoter for the Ponzi scheme. And then there were churches, Baptist Church in Brooklyn, there were churches in Pennsylvania, some of the other churches in Texas, they all were involved in promoting this. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that those churches knowingly did something wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, and I cannot say that. But what I'm saying is that for the church to be involved, the pastor has to give his permission or her permission, whoever the pastor is. And the question is, why would a pastor who knows nothing about investing, who would just decide that they want to trust somebody they don't even know? I don't care if they call themselves God or if they call themselves Reverend. They don't know anything about them. And then just allow them to come to your church, make your members available so they could take their money. So to me, I can never understand that. But Cynthia Petion was very smart. She figured, I'm going to call myself the Reverend. Obviously, she did that, and a lot of people show a lot of reverence to her, give her a lot of credit that they might not otherwise giving her if she wasn't calling herself the Reverend CEO. And I have spoken to many people, especially in the church, who said to me, isn't she a reverend? Isn't she someone who believes in God? Isn't she someone that would always do things right? And I couldn't help but laugh because people like Cynthia Petion, people like Eddie Alexson, people like her husband, who are rob people the way they have them. You know, they're not just criminal, they're sociopath. And what I mean by that, those are people who have absolutely no feelings. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care about anybody. And they're going to do what they're going to do to satisfy whatever need they need to satisfy whatever money they're going to get it from you. So they have no remorse. They're not going to think about, oh my God, what about this little lady here who is 67, 68, 9, 70 years old, who just retired? What about this guy who just, take all his 401k and put it this? What about this woman who mortgage her house and take that money to put it in now she's getting foreclosed on? They don't care about that. They're not paying attention to that. They could give a damn about you or if you were sleeping in the street. They don't care. The problem is that some of the promoters who are working with them, they know what I'm telling you now. They knew this was a Ponzi scheme. Okay? Somebody like Jean-Martin Zizi, okay? This is a guy that I've researched, that I've looked up his background. He's a Haitian-American guy, very smart with a PhD. He's by no means a dumb guy. Actually, he's probably in the top 1% of the people in the country who I would call smart. How the hell this guy could possibly get involved in something like that and can tell me with a serious face that he thought this was a good investment? I don't know how anyone like him and his caliber, based on his education, based on his experience, could tell me that. So to me, there are a lot of people like him who were involved in Novatech, and a lot of people follow them because you hear somebody say, well, I'm a doctor, whether they are a medical doctor or a PhD doctor, but they say they're a doctor. Or I'm a reverend, I'm a pastor, I'm a man of God, I'm a doctor. So people believe in that because they think, well, these people should smart. If this guy says that this is a good investment, who am I to say that he's not? After all, he's got a PhD. After all, she's called herself reverend. And we believe. We believe. And the reason that we believe is because society put a premium on these people. Society give them respect, sometimes undeservedly so. But society does. And because society does, we do. Now, my job is to educate you. My job is to tell you that asking questions, and the very hard question, is not being mean, is not being disrespectful. If somebody want to sell you something, somebody want to tell you to do something, you ask them questions. Ask them as many questions as you want. And until you're satisfied, don't do it. But you have to realize, people, that there are a lot of people out there who's trying to make money, who's trying to live large, who's trying to take what you work very hard for. And they will take it from you. Because you see, one of the things that promoters of Ponzi scheme and the Ponzi schemers like Eddie Pechion, like Eddie Alexson, Cynthia Pechion, ZZ, Cicero, and all these guys, this is what they relied on. You see, if you go around, you stole $10 from, I don't know, 100 million people, right? That's a lot of goddamn money. Now, what is the likelihood one person you stole $10 for is going to come around and sue you? It's not going to happen, because the $10 you took from him, it would take him a lot more money to go after you. So he's figured, okay, you know what, I'll take it as a loss. That's what they think is going to happen, because when they take your 5,000, your 10,000, your 15,000, they figured if you have to go out and hire a lawyer, you would have to have at least $50,000, because the lawyer is going to ask you for money. So they were betting on that they're taking a lot of small money from a whole bunch of people, and none of you are going to do anything. So now that this brave lady by the name of Evis Mullins, she decided, I've had enough, because I've spoken to her, and she said, Professor, I have enough of this. These people, first it was MiniFX, then it was Novatech. These people going around the community stealing people's money. We got to sue them. And she found a lawyer who's willing to listen. And of course, a federal court who's just too happy to figure out what's going on. And an FBI agent sitting somewhere scratching his head and figured out, okay, how am I gonna find Cynthia Pechion and Eddie Pechion and Jean-Martin Zizi and all of them and lock them up and make sure we seize their assets. So what I'm saying to you is, if you think you're gonna be able to get away with it, you're not. If you think this is something that's easy and you're just gonna make money and live large and leave people in disarray and people losing their house, losing their 401k, you're not getting away from it, because you're gonna get bankrupt. Now, I've always promised that I don't want to do any video more than 20 minutes, because I think people have a lot of things to do. I wanted to do this video about the church and the Ponzi schemers. And for me to conclude, I'm going to tell you two things. First, don't ever listen to your pastor giving you financial advice, number one. Number two, whenever someone comes to you and offer you to make you a millionaire, ask them the question, how many people in their family are millionaires? And let them explain to you why they care so much about you, they want to make you a millionaire. Okay? Number two. Number three, always ask them what's in it for them. For example, I'll give you an example. All the Adventist pastors who were going around promoting MiniFX, they all were making money. They all were making money. They were making more money than you. They brought you in. They make money off of your money. Plus, they were taking their money out every Friday, even though they were telling their parishioner, hey, don't take your money, because God wants you to keep that money there, because God wants you to be a millionaire. Of course, God wants you to be a millionaire. Okay? So that is something that you have to think about. You have to realize that these people don't always have your best interests at heart. No matter what they say to you, they don't. Now, the last questions that you want to ask is how well they know the person they're vouching for. Okay? In other words, if they tell you, well, and the reason those questions are important, because it is very unusual for someone who's very smart, who've been through life, to not know that something like this is a Ponzi scheme. The first time I heard about Novatech, the first time I heard about MiniFX and some of the other Ponzi scheme out there, crypto programs, you name it, Omega World, they all are Ponzi schemes. And all I have to do is look at the website, okay? Because people, here's what you have to realize. Okay, and I'm going to say this, and I think I've said this before. I'm going to say it to you again before I end. Investment firm don't ever ask you to bring more people to the investment. They don't ask you that. Because if you invest your money and they're going to do a good job, they're going to invest the money for you and give you a return. First of all, they're never going to promise you any return in terms of numbers. They're never going to say, oh, don't worry about it, we're going to give you 3% a week or 10%. That's never going to happen. Secondly, they all have license. Thirdly, they don't give a shit if you go out and bring another person to invest. Now, think of it. Why would Novatech or MNEFX want you to go out to get other people to invest? I'll tell you what. You know why? Because that's how Ponzi scheme work. You got to bring somebody so they can take that person's money to pay the people that have been waiting. So in other words, you brought me in, they took my money, they pay you a little 3% out of it or whatever that is, 5% out of it. And then I have to bring people so that they can pay me. And the person has to bring somebody that they can pay the person before them. So it's very simple. And I have been for the better part of the last year and a half talking about Ponzi scheme. And if you've been watching my show, if you've been subscribing to my show, you would have by now have a PhD in understanding Ponzi scheme, okay? So stay away from them. Don't do them. You're going to lose your money. Stay away from them. Now, before I close, I want to let you know, all of you, that on March 9, Sunday, March 9, at 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to have Mr. Will Morris. He's the lead attorney who filed the lawsuit against both MNEFX and Novatech. It's going to be a live event on YouTube, okay? The only thing I'm going to do, and I'm telling you guys now 2 weeks before, I'm not going to make the live event available to everyone. It's going to only be to my subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'm telling you now, in 2 weeks, he's going to be there. And if you're an investor of MNEFX or an investor of Novatech, you really want to listen to what this attorney has to say. You want update about the lawsuit. You want to know about his plan to try to help us get the money back. So if you haven't subscribed, it's your opportunity now to subscribe. So that way you will get a link for the live event. Now, if you're not a subscriber, don't blame me. Okay, I'm just letting you know that's what you have to do. So please subscribe now. And if you have friends who actually have invested, make sure your friends and your family knows about it, so that on Sunday, March 9 at 5 p.m. Eastern, you will be able to ask questions of Mr. Will Morris, the famous attorney who is helping the investors find a way to get their money back. I thank you so much for listening to the professor, and I hope to see you, all of you, on Sunday, March 9. Until then, be good, be safe. God bless you.